Greetings, humans! Josh Smoky Hell Nelson here. You know what this is. It is the Smoke Show, and I'm back with another Up in Smoke episode. And for those of you who don't know, you're about to. Up in Smoke is where I turn the microphone around and I answer the questions for once instead of me interviewing the rest of these people. So without further ado, we've got a good collection of questions this week. This third episode, whatever you want to call it. But before we get there, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. It is hot as balls here today, man. I'm having trouble thinking. I also, well, but this podcast is presented by the Fantasy Points Media Group. The Fantasy Points Media Group is the home of the in-your-face like 97 Mace lineup of shows, including the True North Fantasy Football Podcast, Dynasty Happy Hour, Play to Win, Dynasty Vipers, Injury Prone Podcast, the newest edition, Campus to Canton, and of course, the Fantasy Points Podcast. Follow the team on Twitter at FantasyPTS Live and watch out for the week in review threads that drop every Friday because the content there is ridiculous. The team is great. We got a lot of good shit coming out. So, yeah. Let's do this. Smoke Show! Okay, so the first question this week comes in from my boy at St. Patrick FF. And his question is, when will my water turn back on? I can't even say that correctly. I don't have an answer for you, brother. You shot me this question 2 days ago, so I'm hoping it's back on by now. At least enough to, flush them emergency toilets. But let's move on to the football. Next one comes in from FF at FF the at home dad. And he asks, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if Chuck Pagano was a woodchuck? Well, the good Chuck would chuck anyone except Luck, as he is already retired. Oh, good stuff. But all joking aside, let's get to the actual football question here. First one comes in from at T Seal 14, our fearless leader at True North Fantasy Football, the man they call Trav, our Lord and Sealer. First question, he says, gun to your head. Which Lions wide receiver do you want? Well, clearly the answer is Hawkinson, but I don't believe that's the intent of your question. I mean, come on, he is their top receiving option, but you said wide receiver, blah, 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 blah. All right, so I did a little quick check on ADP here, which is average draft position across several things, but I'm grabbing this from Fantasy Pros today, which does a bit of an aggregate as well. Anyways, it took me a while to find the Lions wide receivers, not going to lie. But in the lead at wide receiver 66 is Ars B, or, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or whatever his family has named him. And then we have down at wide receiver 83, Brashad Perriman. And down at wide receiver 84, Tyrell Williams. For my money, gun to my head, in season long, it's Tyrell Williams, and in Dynasty, it's RSB. None of these are attractive options, but gun to my head. And the good news is they're free. You don't have to spend a ton of capital to get any of these guys. Do you want to? I mean, they got to throw to someone. Hawkinson's going to be it. But give me Tyrell Williams, man. He can be reliable short area target for Goff, who I don't think they're going to ask to air it out much. But yeah, let's not talk about the Lions ever again. Second question from Trav again. Why do you hate T. Higgins? Okay, listen. My love for Jamar Chase is so enormous that the shade T. Higgins lives in from the eclipse makes it appear that I am down on Higgins, but I am not. I'm not. I don't know if any of you have gone through the punishment of doing a mid-season draft. I tried a couple of them out midway through last season, and in hindsight, bad. But in one of those, I took T. Higgins as my wide receiver one. So don't tell me I'm down on T. Higgins. I'm just very up on Chase because that's where he's going, baby, all the way to the top. Now he has a serious question for his last one here. What is Z Willie's ceiling as a rookie? Z Willie is something that we're getting caught on. Well, I'm of course talking about Zach Wilson. His ceiling as a rookie, top blank quarterback. Okay, in my 2021 rankings currently, these things are very fungible. They can move around a lot, but currently I have him at quarterback 29. I'm not a big believer in Zach Wilson in 2021, or the hugest believer thereafter. Pre-draft this year, he was my QB4 heading into it, maybe tied for QB4 with Mac Jones, but Jet's gonna jet, man. They got their kid, but if things break right, if the line plays to their maximum ceiling, gives him the time to move around in the pocket, Elijah Moore looks as good as he has in camp. If he continues that out, and hopefully they use him on some outside stuff too, not just in the slot work. If that breaks right, if Michael Carter ascends and just grabs that backfield and becomes some kind of bell cow, if everything breaks right like this, I can see him as high as QB 19. That's it. Like right in between Fitzmagic and Darnold in my season long rankings. I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. It's a kid. I like Herbert last year. I hedged. I do have a couple shares, but I mean, I'm not holding out hope. I've got much higher hopes for Mr. Justin Fields, Mr. Trey Lance, and T-Law. But yeah, as high as 19, I can't conceivably get him any higher than that. It's a tough division too, man. Some good defenses. Anyways, moving on to the next one. This one comes in from a boy, not his real name, Tyler. Tyler Justin Carp. You can find him at DLF_Carp. That is KARP. Who asks, who's your favorite breakout candidate for 2021? And no, you can't say Visca. And he says this because he was witness to a very heated back and forth we had where I think I was defending Visca that day, which is funny because the day before I was defending Chark over him prior to the finger surgery news. Anyways, my 2021 breakout candidate, give me Kyle Pitts. Come on now. Yeah. Have you listened to me at all over this offseason? It's Kyle Pitts, baby. My number one most rostered player, Kyle Pitts, 11 shares. I mean, okay, I'm just gonna read you my contribution to an article that's going to be dropping soon on TrueNorthFFB.com. That is home of the A team, TrueNorthFFB.com, where you can find all of our podcasts on the True North Fantasy Football Network, including, Smoke Show and my other show, the Jet Sweep Show with my boy. It's Harris Time, Will Harris. 33 days, y'all. As well as the Gold Jacket podcast, the one mentioned before, the True North Fantasy Football podcast, and the Point After podcast. Yeah, so this is going to be an article coming out soon, and it's a big group article. A bunch of our writers and content creators are coming out with this year's must-have and stay-aways, like we did last year. And my must-have is, come on, it's Kyle Pitts. And this is my blurb. For the second season in a row, my must-have player is from the Atlanta Falcons. It was Calvin Ridley last year. However, this year, it is the highest drafted tight end in history, Mr. Kyle Anthony Pitts. The 2020 John Mackey Award winner for the most outstanding tight end in college, who did it with 20% more touchdowns than any winner in the last 20 years. And while we're on awards, he is the first tight end to be a top 10 finalist for the Blitnikoff Award, which is the best college receiver. Pretty outstanding. And he was also a top 10 finalist for the Heisman this year. Yeah, come on. Okay. But enough with the awards. This guy profiles like you custom built him in a video game with unlimited stat points. Pitts is a gifted receiver in a giant tight end's body. He can literally line up at anywhere and not only be successful, but a true threat. The biggest thing that swayed me was the fact that the Falcons knew Julio was gone before the draft. That's right, before the draft. So they knew their first ballot Hall of Fame franchise wide receiver was gone. They had the 4th overall pick in the NFL draft, and they still went with Kyle Pitts. They could have gone quarterback. They could have gone Sewell. They could have gone, if they wanted to, replace quote unquote Julio Jones. They could have gone Jamar Chase. They went with Kyle Pitts. Hey, come on, man. When this guy hits his stride, he can blow past defenders with his 98th percentile speed score in the blink of an eye. History, statistically speaking, is against him. Yet, what other tight end has profiled like him coming into a situation as the undisputed number 2 receiver in a voluminous pass-friendly offense with a terrible defense who can line up all over the field, who's already been shown to be used that they're going to line him up all over the field? I mean, what more can I say, man? It adds up to the perfect storm of a situation. Gun to my head again? Is he going to break Ditka's record that has stood for 60 plus years? Probably not. But the more I see smart people out there, get that gun down. The more I see smart people out there, divulging their projections for this year, player projections, team projections, I'm looking at them every single time. And I'm looking at Pitts to see, am I just like gassed up on this? I mean, Gators. I love this guy. But am I too gassed up? And I'm looking at these projections and oh man, I might not be gassed up enough. I'm growing on bits. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. To anyone who's heard me just nonstop about this guy, that's crazy. But I might be growing on pits. Let's move on. As I mentioned, that podcast on the True North Fantasy Football Network, the Point After podcast. The next question comes in from Julian. You can find him at the Point After FF. And he's got a couple here. All right. If you could only ever eat one type of fruit ever again, what would it be? Oh, I mean, one fruit ever again. I can narrow it down to 2. It's got to be apple or blueberry. You got to think of what is the most versatile. If it's versatility, it's apple, hand down. Pie. You can dehydrate them, turn them into chips. I mean, what can't you do with an apple? You can make cider with it. You can drink the juice. You could just eat the bloody thing. Apples are perfect. But blueberries are so damn tasty. But with the earth on fire like it has been, they're a little harder to grow. So I'm going to go with apple. Yeah, locking it in. Number 2. How often do you eat beef jerky in a year? Okay, we got some food ones here. Not as much as I'd like to, truthfully. Since I got a root canal on the second back molar on the top here a couple of years back, there's been a gap in between my teeth that did not exist before. This might be too much info. I don't care. But I can't eat anything without like giant, like finger-sized pieces just getting wedged between my teeth. So stuff like beef jerky, it's a bit of a tough sell now. But weird side story. I work in receiving, and one of these delivery drivers comes in about a month ago, and he's like, Oh, do you want to try some beef jerky? I'm like, "Uh, oh, sure, why not? Why not?" And he's like, "I made it." I'm like, "Oh, okay, now I'm interested." I mean, there's a lot. I live on an island. There's a lot of farmland. There's a lot of hunters and everything like that. So I'm like, man, people make their own stuff here. It is amazing usually, but I digress. He gives me that. He just lets me pull out a huge flake, and if it wasn't the tastiest beef jerky I've ever had in my life, so moist, so flavorful, and it just you didn't have to work at it. It was I want to cry just thinking about it. It was so good. And by the way, I'm picking up 2 bags of it tomorrow morning when he drops off. Beef jerky, man. It's so good, but yeah, not as much as I'd like to. Question 3. All right, this is a fantasy football one. Outside of the top 6 obvious answers, who's your favorite NFL rookie for fantasy in 2021? So, like, what's the obvious 6 answers? So it's got to be, Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance, at least, Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts, Najee, maybe Fields in there. Uh, yeah, that's 6. So outside of that, okay. I mean, running backs, Javante and Carter. I mean, the UNC running backs in their respective teams now. I mean, Javante has the talent to surpass Melvin Gordon sooner than later, but whether the team is going to allow that, I don't know. They still like Melgo. Uh, so we'll see there. But throughout the season, he's going to get the opportunity and he's going to literally run with it. And oof, I think he could do some damage with with the defense that Denver has. They're going to be in a lot of positive game scripts, and that's good for the run game. And Carter, I love Carter. I love Carter. I just it's his opportunity, and people, oh, he was a round 4 running back, and oh, it's bad draft capital. Well, draft capital is good for what? Opportunity. He's got the opportunity. What more do you want? He's got to beat out Tevin Coleman. Gives a shit about Tevin Coleman. No offense, Tevin Coleman, but yeah. But I think the opportunity's there, and it's kind of funny to see 3, rookies at the skill position, at the top of their skill positions on their team on the Jets there, like with Michael Carter, Elijah Moore, and Z Willie. They have the potential to, grow together as a young nucleus for a team and an offense that, if they hit their ceiling together, fantastic. I believe in Moore and I believe in Carter. So those guys, and well, like I said, Moore, Elijah, and that's right. If you are watching the video of this, I am standing up and showing you my Mighty Moore t-shirt, courtesy of Viridian Global. Go to viridianglobal.com for the hottest lineup of football apparel. And I'm talking, they got everything, man. They got t-shirts. They got, see all those hats back there on my amp? Those are all from Viridian, all of them. They got so many bloody things. They got bomber jackets now. Like, there's so many cool things on there. And just new this week, they've got smoke show merchandise. Yeah, that's right. I'm part of the collection now. It's been a long time coming, but my man Dan Made Graphics, you can find him at Dan Made Graphics. He hooked me up, man. He was the one that did that logo right there, the smoke show logo, the side profile one you see, and look how accurate it is. Bang on, man. This guy's unreal. And the merch he designed was just unbelievable. So infinite gratitude to my boy Dan. Hit him up if you need something. He is fucking amazing. But yeah, viridianglobal.com. Go hit it up. Tell him Smoke sent you. Where was I? Man, Viridian gets me crazy. Rondale Moore. We have seen the potential of the slot position in the Arizona offense. And granted, it's been occupied by a future Hall of Famer in Larry Fitzgerald, but he gone now. He gone. Rondale, I'm growing on him. And, you like to see a little guy do it. But he don't look a little out there, man. He is He's looking good in camp, and I know it's camp. I don't care. You want them to look like this. You don't want to hear nothing. You don't want to hear the negative, that's for sure, but you don't want to hear nothing. I want to, if I see those positives, man, go watch the tape. And, Kyler likes him. So let's make this happen. I believe. So, favorite rookie outside the top 6? I don't know. For 2021, though, it's tough. Tough. I think Carter probably has the best opportunity of those 4 I listed, Javonte, Carter, and both of the Moores. But you know what? We're going with what I'm wearing on the shirt right now. I'm going with Rondale Moore. He is my favorite rookie for fantasy in 2021 outside of the top 6, we will say. Whew. That was a tough one. Damn. All right, the next one comes in from my boy Joe. You can find him at TNFF_auction Joe. That's right. Go to his Twitter right now. That is at TNFF_auction Joe. Joe. Go there right now and download his auction draft survival kit that he just came out with, man. He is now, he's always been our editor at True North. He is one of the best behind the scenes, man. I love him. I always get props to my boy Joe. But now he is in the content creation game, and he came out with this amazing auction draft survival kit. Damn, I can't talk today. And it tells you what auction drafts are, strategies, tips for multiple formats, and best of all, he has auction values for season long, like player auction values, and it's free. Go there right now. It's pinned to the top of his profile. That's at TNFF_auction Joe. Auction draft survival kit. Get it now. Tell him Smoke sent you. But he has a question. And he says, since I pretty much know who Smokey loves in fantasy football, in brackets, Kyle Pitts #1. Let's ask him something different. At midnight, when you want a snack, what is Smokey's go-to munchies? If it's that late, you don't want something too loud. I've learned this the hard way. So maybe a bowl of ice cream. I love ice cream. I am an absolute ice cream fiend. The only thing I love more than ice cream food-wise is fucking cookies. Oh my God, cookies are good. You can't put cookies around me. And Rach, my wife, my God, she makes the most amazing. I digress. My favorite midnight munch, she said, well, you know what? It's funny. I used to live in Vancouver with one of my best friends in the entire world, Kevin Banner, Bansky. I love that guy. He was actually the first guest on the very first episode of the first version of the Smoke Show. Anyways, another story for another time. Me and him used to live together in Vancouver, and it would get to midnight, and we'd get baked as hell, as we do, and it would be time for a Sevi run. So we'd hoof her on down to the corner, and he would literally hand me $20, and he would go, "I trust you." And it's not like I had these go-to things. It would be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no, this, and this, boom." No, it's about the mood. You gotta be. You have to read your own mood. It's never going to be the same. If it is, then you have very narrow taste. But sometimes, I love crunch. My wife less so. So I try to do that when she's not here. But my go-to, oof, I like a combination of things. So give me some salty, give me some sweet, give me some caramel in there. I love caramel. Dark chocolate, hell yeah. Yeah. So chocolate covered sea salt caramels kind of hits all the bases. So yeah, maybe I don't know. Give it all to me. Next comes from at @mobile_Marty. It's Marty. He was the winner of the Canada Cup fantasy football charity tournament last year, which has gone down as my worst drafted fantasy team ever. Moving on. He asks, Why do you hate the auction? Because I fear it. But with the aforementioned auction draft survival kit from TNFF underscore auction Joe, I don't have to be afraid anymore. How's that for product placement? Fuck yeah. Uh, next question comes in from at Vince underscore FFB. My boy Vinny from the Upside Play. You can find them at the Upside Play. And he asks, ooh, if you could take a player from any NFL team and put them on your favorite team, who would it be? I mean, it's no secret that I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. So probably like Jair Alexander or Jamal Adams, something to shore up that secondary. But I wouldn't say no to Aaron Donald. But I mean, getting hot already here. If San Francisco wanted to give us Kittle for like Gallup and Jarwin and whoever else, I would likely explode. I'm feeling faint here. Lamb. Yeah. Woo. Okay. We're gonna have to make sure that make sure we make that not safe for work on the old YouTubes there. Yeah. So, like I said, shore up that secondary. Jair Alexander, some he's top corner, or Jamal Adams. Yeah. And the last one today. Thank you for sticking it out this far if you have. This has been a little mental. Last one comes in from at McLateralFF, my boy Malcolm from The Lateral, whom you could find at The Lateral FF. And he asks, so what teams do we think won't have a top 36 wide receiver this year in PPR? Last year, there was 9 teams. 9. Damn. Shit. Well, you got to think there's going to be multiple teams with more than one wide receiver in the top 30. Was top 36? Okay, yeah. So wide receiver 3 range. So I think all 3 Cowboys can get there. Okay, so that's 3 spots down. So we have a top 33 now. At least 2 of the Cincinnati guys are getting there. At least 2 of the Bucks are getting there. Julio and AJ Brown are getting there. Yeah. Let's see who else. Top ones. I mean, right there, that's already 9 spots. So that's a shrinking pie. But teams that probably won't. Detroit. I struggle to say Houston. I just want to check where I have Brandon Cooks because I'm a believer in Brandon Cooks. I went to bat for this guy in a group chat the other day because slanderous. This guy's done nothing but produce his entire bloody career. Anyways, where do I have Mr. Brandon Cooks? No, he cannot be that low. Shit is he? Oh, okay. I've got him at 28. So that's a pretty favorable outlook, and it's definitely in the top 36. So I can't say Houston, as easy as it would be to say. Vegas, yeah, I don't think any of the Vegas guys make it. Let's see who else we got. Well, according to my rankings, none of the Eagles make the top 36. Call me crazy, but you got to be on that field to produce, right? Yeah, those are the big ones that stick out. Oh, Indianapolis. No, come on. Yeah, those are the ones that jump out. So I'm going to say probably an equal amount to last year because, I mean, it shouldn't be too different from that. There's a lot of teams with healthy receiving cores, we will say. But that's the thing. The receiving cores have got to stay healthy. So that's all dependent on that. Blah, 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 blah. That's a cop-out. I think we've run this course. It's getting off the rails here. I want to thank you for sticking it out. Thank you for watching and or listening to The Smoke Show. I am your host, Josh Smoky Hell Nelson. Yeah. Is that all I got? Yeah, that's all I got. Stay tuned for some wicked interviews coming up with some big names. And in 33 days, the jet sweep show is back. Yay! You know what? All I got left to say is where there's smoke, there's fire.